Hi, my name is Mike Giebelhausen. I'm the faculty advisor for a creative inquiry titled Frontline Service, Robots, and AI. In this poster we're looking at here today, you'll see a variety of student projects with the common theme of addressing barriers to preventative healthcare. In particular, the barrier they're addressing is perceived anxiety on the part of the consumer. In the first study at the top, consumers are presented with a scenario where they're given the option to participate in a wellness program as part of a preventative healthcare program. They have the choice of an exercise instructor that is either a robot or a human. And what we find is that early on in the program, consumers report a relatively higher preference for the robot instructor. This is related to the fact that the robot is seen as less judgmental, and as people become more comfortable, they tend to switch their preferences to the human provider. Another noteworthy result from this study is that this effect happens at a slower rate for women. This is consistent with research that has shown women tend to experience higher anxiety in these types of situations. Second study here was another scenario where we gave people one of 4 different doctors. And what we find is, again, that the robotic versions of the doctors are seen as potentially less judgmental than the human versions. And we find that this judgment, assessment of the extent to which the provider is judgmental affects people's attitudes towards that provider. And in turn, that affects their willingness to frequent that provider. So again, what we find was that, by bringing down the extent to which the provider is seen as judgmental, consumers are more likely to engage in that preventative healthcare program. The last project here is our newest project that brings in, integrates the COVID-19 pandemic. Here what we do is we separate participants in the studies into groups where we have them read a short snippet on cancer or COVID. Then we give them the option to choose between a preventative healthcare procedure that's delivered with the assistance of a robot or not. What we find is that anxiety is correlated with increased preference for a human when that anxiety is primed with cancer or a non-infectious disease. However, when the anxiety is primed with an infectious disease, increasing anxiety increases preference for the robotic-assisted procedure. So all of these studies combine to give us greater insights in how robotic technologies can increase consumer participation in preventative healthcare. Thank you.